The golden age of Hollywood is remembered as a time of unmatched charm, when the world was entranced by the magic of cinema, the sparkling smiles of the stars, and the captivating stories on the silver screen. Yet, behind the glimmer and shine, many stars were forced to conceal their own truths. They lived in an era where deviations from the norm were not only disapproved of, but could also destroy their careers. To survive, numerous stars led double lives, struggling to maintain a balance between their public persona and their private truths. Now, let's explore a part of Hollywood's golden age, where stars not only faced the spotlight, but also kept deep secrets. The pressure was immense, and many artists had to make sacrifices to protect their true identities, as the risk of career destruction was real if their secrets were exposed. The struggle to maintain a perfect public image while hiding personal truths was a constant challenge. As for the question about whether any of my friends identify as LGBT, I don't have personal experiences, but I recognize the importance of supporting and respecting all identities. Enjoy the video and don't forget to subscribe to support the channel. Thank you for watching. A rising star and a cultural pioneer, Sal was born in the Bronx to a Sicilian immigrant family, and his childhood was filled with hardship. However, acting became his way out of the struggles he faced growing up. Sal's breakthrough role in Rebel Without a Cause solidified his place in Hollywood. As Plato, a character crafted with subtle LGBTQ undertones, Sal brought depth to the role, which resonated strongly with audiences and created a lasting impact. Sal's decision to live authentically off-screen by openly acknowledging his bisexuality was a bold move for the time. However, this openness came with consequences, as film studios no longer wanted to cast him in leading roles, and his career was impacted as he aged. Despite this, Sal never gave up on acting and found success on the stage. His life tragically ended in 1976 when he was murdered in a senseless act of violence. Sal's passing was not only a significant loss for the film industry, but also for the LGBTQ+ community, who saw him as a symbol of representation during a time when acceptance was scarce. One of Hollywood's first Latin stars, he became famous in 1925 and became a global sensation. MGM promoted him as the ideal Latin American figure, but Navarro's real life was much more complicated. As a Catholic, he struggled with his faith and his identity. Although he found solace in his work, Ramon faced immense pressure regarding his public image and turned to alcohol as a way to cope. Tragically, his life came to a violent end when he was murdered in his own home by two men who believed he had money hidden there. His death shocked Hollywood and highlighted the dangers faced by those who were forced to live in secrecy. The actor, famous for his chilling role in Psycho, led a life full of contradictions. He began his career with charming roles, but his portrayal of Norman Bates turned him into an unforgettable icon. In real life, Anthony also had long-term relationships with men, including actor Tab Hunter. However, in his late 30s, he underwent conversion therapy in an attempt to change his sexual orientation. Later, he married and had children, but the struggle with societal expectations left a lasting mark on his personal life. Anthony Perkins passed away in 1992 from pneumonia related to AIDS, leaving behind a legacy of talent and a poignant story of inner conflict. He began his career as a handsome heartthrob in light films, but he didn't want to be forever typecast. With his captivating looks, Dirk sought roles that challenged societal norms and delved into difficult subjects, such as in Victoire, where he portrayed a closeted lawyer blackmailed over his sexual orientation. This film was one of the first to openly and sympathetically address homosexuality, sparking conversations about legal and social reform. In real life, Dirk lived with his partner, Anthony Forwood, for nearly 40 years. Although he never publicly acknowledged their relationship, those close to him understood the depth of their bond. Dirk's decision to keep his personal life private reflected the pressures of the time, but through the roles he chose, he quietly supported change and used his platform to push boundaries. Later in life, Dirk turned to writing, publishing memoirs and novels, further solidifying his legacy as a versatile artist. A masterful entertainer, Danny was beloved for his humor, musical talent, and physical prowess. Films like The Court Jester and White Christmas showcased his infectious energy and unique style. However, Danny's personal life was a puzzle shrouded in rumors and speculation. Although he was married to musician Sylvia Fine, there were persistent rumors of a romantic relationship with Laurence Olivier. While neither party ever confirmed these rumors, they only added to the intrigue surrounding Danny's story. His reluctance to address these rumors reflected the choice of many stars of that era, who feared that honesty could cost them their careers. Nonetheless, Danny remained focused on his work, continually bringing joy to millions. He also dedicated himself to humanitarian efforts, particularly his work with UNICEF, highlighting his commitment to making the world a better place. What do you think about the courage and sacrifices of these stars from that era? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to enjoy the video, and if you love inspiring stories like this, make sure to leave a sub to support the channel. Thank you for watching and for helping us spread positive messages to the community. Raymond became a household name through his roles in Perry Mason and Ironside. With his deep voice and commanding presence, he became the perfect choice for characters who embodied power and confidence. However, Raymond's private life was entirely different from the strong characters he portrayed. His long-term relationship with Benavides, a thief, served as the solid foundation for his personal life. Despite sharing a deep relationship, both kept this truth hidden from the public to protect Raymond's career. This secrecy was necessary in an era where openly acknowledging one's sexual orientation could destroy a career overnight. Nonetheless, Raymond continued to build his career and became a philanthropist, supporting various social causes and sharing his wealth with friends and adopted children. Raymond's legacy is defined by his kindness and generosity. His final battle with cancer revealed extraordinary strength. Knowing he was in the final stages, Raymond took the time to organize farewell gatherings for his loved ones. His life stands as a testament to true strength, often emerging from quiet acts of resilience and compassion. One of the most respected actors of his time, Spencer Tracy, was known for his natural acting style and appeared in over 75 films. He won numerous Academy Awards and became an indispensable figure in Hollywood cinema. His relationship with Katharine Hepburn became legendary, but there were also stories about his relationships with men. Spencer Tracy faced many challenges in life, including alcohol addiction and serious health issues. Despite the difficulties, he remained a significant figure in Hollywood, remembered for his versatility and depth in acting. A famous Hollywood star, particularly known for his iconic role in the 1960s Batman TV series, Caesar was born in New York to a Cuban family. He grew up in a culture that highly valued family and tradition. His handsome looks and charm allowed him to easily integrate into Hollywood, where he quickly found success. Although Caesar was often seen with famous actresses at events, his personal life was very private. For many years, he kept his romantic relationships hidden, and only later in life publicly acknowledged his sexual orientation. Caesar's decision to live authentically, even in the later years of his career, was a bold statement in an industry that had remained silent on such matters. A personification of sensitivity and vulnerability, both on screen and in real life, Montgomery Clift delivered outstanding performances in A Place in the Sun, From Here to Eternity, and Judgment at Nuremberg, showcasing his ability to portray complex, emotionally charged characters. Clift was a pioneer in the method acting technique, bringing rawness and authenticity to his performances. He was also known for his close friendship with Elizabeth Taylor, who stood by him and defended him against the rumors surrounding his personal life. Although he had relationships with men that he never publicly acknowledged, Montgomery Clift maintained his privacy, a heartbreaking decision given that his life was deeply affected by addiction and insecurity. After a devastating car accident in 1956, his health declined, yet Montgomery continued to deliver impressive performances. His story is a poignant tragedy, reflecting the struggles faced by those who live differently in society. Known as the King of Hollywood, Clark Gable was a symbol of masculinity, with his handsome, strong appearance and commanding presence. He was a shining star in iconic films like Gone with the Wind, and his fame was solidified by his romantic roles. However, Gable's story holds many untold facets. While he was known for his prominent relationships with women and high-profile marriages, there were also rumors about his romantic entanglements with men in the early years of his career. Some believe that Gable's rise to stardom was linked to relationships beyond his professional work, although these rumors were never confirmed. These stories added a layer of complexity to the image of a man who had become a symbol of masculinity. Gable's sudden death in 1960 from a heart attack shocked Hollywood, but his films continue to captivate audiences and fuel ongoing discussions about his life. One of the most famous actors of Hollywood's golden age, Rock Hudson stood out in romantic comedies and dramas. With his tall stature and gentle smile, Rock seemed to embody the ideal of the perfect man. However, his private life was very different from the public image he portrayed. Rock's sexual orientation was a well-known secret within the film industry, though it was carefully concealed from the public. His agent, Henry Wilson, worked tirelessly to protect Rock's image, even sacrificing the careers of other clients to divert attention away from him. In the 1980s, when Rock was diagnosed with AIDS, he became one of the first public figures to address the disease. Rock's decision to go public raised awareness about the AIDS epidemic and helped reduce the stigma surrounding it. His bravery in the final years of his life showcased a different kind of heroism, one that went beyond the roles he played on screen. Another heartthrob of Hollywood's golden age, Tab Hunter was known for his wholesome image and good looks. His career began in the 1950s, with leading roles in films like Battle Cry and Damn Yankees. He was often paired with famous actresses like Natalie Wood and Debbie Reynolds, creating the image of the perfect Hollywood couple. However, behind the glamour, Tab lived a different reality. He had a secret relationship with actor Anthony Perkins, a romance that was carefully concealed from the media. At the time, film studios required stars to maintain a specific image, leaving Tab with no choice but to hide the truth about his personal life. However, in 2005, Tab wrote a memoir in which he openly shared his experiences and spoke about the challenges he had faced. His courage in publicly revealing his story has inspired countless others. A prominent star in the Western film genre, Randolph was known for his handsome looks and strong presence on screen. Throughout his decades-long career, he became one of Hollywood's most recognizable faces. However, his personal life was equally intriguing. For many years, Randolph lived with Cary Grant in a famous house known as Bachelor Hall. They were often photographed together in moments of ease and happiness, but their relationship was always the subject of speculation. Although neither of them publicly addressed the rumors, Randolph's decision to keep his private life hidden helped him maintain a successful career while still living on his own terms. Randolph's story serves as a reminder of the sacrifices stars had to make to protect their identities and careers in a challenging era. As a symbol of youth and rebellion, James Dean became a legend overnight with his intense performances in East of Eden, Rebel Without a Cause, and Giant. However, his fame also came with constant scrutiny from the public. Growing up in Indiana, James often felt like an outsider, introverted and reserved. He channeled all his emotions into his acting, which was reflected in his raw and passionate performances. His public relationships with women, such as Natalie Wood, were always the subject of rumors, and the media constantly speculated about possible relationships between him and men, particularly with Marlon Brando. Some sources suggested that Brando was Dean's mentor, while others claimed they shared a tragic romantic relationship. Unfortunately, James Dean's life was cut short at the age of 24 in a car accident. Despite his brief life, he left behind an unforgettable legacy, sparking questions about the true person behind the legend. He was the embodiment of charm and sophistication. Born in England to a less-than-ideal family, his father struggled with alcoholism, and his mother had to be institutionalized when he was young. These childhood hardships shaped him into a resilient and ambitious man. Upon moving to Hollywood, Grant crafted the image of a refined gentleman with a career full of remarkable accomplishments. However, his love life was far from simple. Despite being married 5 times, his longest relationship was with actor Randolph Scott. The two lived together for many years in a famous house known as Bachelor Hall. Although Grant never publicly acknowledged their relationship, photographs of them, from lounging by the pool to cooking together, continued to spark public curiosity and speculation. This relationship remains one of Hollywood's most captivating and enigmatic stories. A natural force on screen with powerful and magnetic performances, his acting in A Streetcar Named Desire and The Godfather redefined cinema. Brando never hid his true self, both on and off screen. He openly admitted to having romantic relationships with men, saying, Like many other men, I have had homosexual experiences, and I'm not ashamed of it. His honesty, in an era when such matters were not accepted, demonstrated courage and a challenge to societal norms. Brando's private life was as complex as his performances, with numerous children and health issues. Despite criticism for his unconventional lifestyle, Brando's contributions to cinema and his bravery in living authentically have created a lasting legacy. One of Hollywood's most captivating men, with standout roles in films like Zorro and Blood and Sand, Tyrone solidified his position as a cinematic icon. With his handsome looks and undeniable charm, Tyrone captivated audiences worldwide. However, his private life was much more complex than his public image. Rumors about Tyrone's relationships with men circulated throughout his career, with many pointing to his close relationships with Charles Laughton and Cesar Romero. Despite having been through 3 marriages, rumors about Tyrone's sexual orientation continued to circulate. His life was a delicate balance between navigating the demands of fame and keeping his private life hidden. Tyrone's sudden death at the age of 44 from a heart attack was a tragic end to a promising life. Nevertheless, his contributions to cinema are still celebrated, and his story continues to inspire generations to come. One of the most enigmatic figures in film history, Alec Guinness delivered unforgettable performances, such as the cold Colonel Nicholson in The Bridge on the River Kwai and Obi-Wan Kenobi in Star Wars, showcasing a versatility few could match. Alec was known for his reserved and dignified demeanor, both on screen and in his private life. Although his personal life was carefully guarded, rumors about Alec's sexual orientation persisted for many years after his passing. Some allegations suggest that he was arrested in 1946 for homosexual conduct, though this remains unverified. Alec never addressed these rumors, instead focusing on his work. His silence reflected the fear many actors felt at the time, when being open about one's sexuality could destroy a career. Devoted to his craft and capable of overcoming the challenges of his time, Alec built a career that spanned decades, and his work continues to be studied and admired to this day. One of Hollywood's most captivating icons of the silent film era, Valentino became known as the Latin lover through films like Blood and Sand and The Shake. His alluring looks and magnetic performances captivated audiences. However, Valentino's private life was far more complex than the image he created on screen. His marriages to Natasha Rambova and Gene Acker were often described as lavender marriages, fueling rumors about his sexual orientation. Valentino never publicly acknowledged these rumors, and speculation about his relationships with men continued to attract attention. His sudden death at the age of 31 from complications of appendicitis shocked his fans, and his funeral drew tens of thousands of mourners. The story of Valentino's life remains an icon, a testament to the lasting allure of one of the first men to make a name in Hollywood. A talented actor with kindness and intelligence, Roddy stood out from a young age as a child star in films like How Green Was My Valley. He later continued his success with adult roles, most notably as Cornelius and Caesar in Planet of the Apes, where he brought depth and humanity to his characters, despite being hidden under heavy makeup. Roddy's personal life was quite private, but he was known to have had relationships with several men, including Montgomery Clift. Roddy never married. Instead, he chose to focus on friendships and his career. He was also a talented photographer, capturing natural portraits of some of Hollywood's biggest stars. These photos provided a unique insight into the lives of his colleagues in the industry. With his ability to balance his passion for work and personal relationships, Roddy became a beloved figure, and his legacy continues to inspire those who follow in his footsteps. One of the rare Hollywood stars who refused to hide his true self, Farley showcased his intensity and vulnerability in performances such as Rope and Strangers on a Train by Alfred Hitchcock. Off-screen, Farley never regretted being bisexual and maintained relationships with both men and women. His long-term partnership with Robert Calhoun was an important part of his life, providing him with stability in an industry often marked by chaos. Farley's courage and determination to live authentically made him a quiet pioneer in Hollywood. In addition to his film career, Farley also found success on the television stage, continuing his artistic endeavors until the end of his life. Farley's story stands as a testament to bravery and authenticity, a reminder that living true to oneself can be the greatest achievement of one's life. With exceptional acting talent, Charles demonstrated his ability to embody deep and complex characters in films such as The Hunchback of Notre Dame and Witness for the Prosecution. However, his life was filled with contradictions. Charles married actress Elsa Lanchester, and although their marriage seemed like a typical Hollywood union, Elsa later revealed that Charles was only interested in men. Their marriage was based more on friendship and mutual respect than romantic love. In an era where being open about one's homosexuality could destroy a career, Charles quietly struggled with his identity. Although there were whispered stories within the industry about his relationships with younger men, Charles never publicly addressed these rumors. Nevertheless, he channeled profound emotion into his work, delivering iconic performances. Charles's legacy serves as a reminder that some of the greatest works of art often come from those who have faced the deepest personal battles. Not only a talented director, but also one of the cornerstones of Hollywood's golden age, George is known for classic films such as My Fair Lady, The Philadelphia Story, and Adam's Rib. He had a unique ability to bring out the best in his actors, especially female performers, and his work earned him the reputation as the director of women. However, his influence extended beyond just his films. George's home became a sanctuary for the LGBTQ+ community in Hollywood. His Sunday afternoon gatherings attracted legendary stars, screenwriters, and directors seeking a safe space where they could escape the watchful eyes of the public. These gatherings helped foster a sense of community in an industry where people were often forced to live in secrecy. While keeping his own sexual orientation private, George's life was truly an open secret. He maintained close relationships with stars like Katharine Hepburn and Spencer Tracy, and his kindness and generosity left a lasting impression on those who knew him. Despite facing challenges, including being removed from directing Gone with the Wind, George continued to dedicate himself to the arts. His legacy is a blend of creative talent and his ability to support others, making him a significant figure in Hollywood's LGBTQ+ culture. A design genius renowned for his work in films like The Wizard of Oz and Camille, Adrian's creations revolutionized the way costumes were perceived in cinema. His artistic ability and storytelling skills made him an indispensable part of MGM's success. His designs remain iconic to this day. Adrian was openly gay in Hollywood, a bold stance for someone in his position. Although he was married to actress Janet Gaynor, their relationship was described as a lavender marriage, a term referring to unions arranged to protect the privacy of LGBTQ+ individuals. Despite living in an era with many limitations, Adrian expressed himself authentically through his art. His challenge to social norms in his designs mirrored the silence in his personal life. Adrian's sudden death from a heart attack at the age of 56 cut short his great career, but his influence endures. His costumes are still celebrated as masterpieces, and his story continues to inspire creatives. He is one of the most notable examples of the power of creativity and resilience in the face of adversity. As a talented comedian with sharp wit and a flamboyant style, Paul became a familiar face through shows like Hollywood Squares and Bewitched. His roles not only brought laughter but also reflected the deep inner struggles he faced in his personal life. Despite his flamboyant style and a larger-than-life personality, Paul's sexual orientation was an open secret in Hollywood. In that era, publicly acknowledging one's homosexuality could destroy a career, so Paul chose not to reveal it, even though his life was fraught with challenges. His struggles with alcoholism, personal pain, and a lack of self-acceptance made his life complex, but at the same time, they turned him into a symbol of resilience. He transformed his pain into humor, creating joyful moments for millions, and this provided significant inspiration for future generations of actors. Paul's legacy is a lesson in mental strength, courage, and the ability to overcome personal struggles. The stories of Hollywood stars from the Golden Age, like Paul Lynde, George Cukor, and Elizabeth Taylor, share a common thread: the necessity of living authentically, even when facing societal challenges and prejudices. Gatherings like George Cukor's Sunday afternoon parties were not just social events, but also quiet acts of resistance against a system that demanded secrecy. Spaces like these created a safe haven where artists could be themselves without fear of public judgment. Friendships and support between stars, such as the close relationship between Elizabeth Taylor and Montgomery Clift, also played a crucial role in helping them navigate the pressures of fame. These relationships provided moments of comfort, understanding, and helped them continue to develop their craft despite facing harsh personal challenges. Ultimately, the stories of these stars are not just about creativity, but also about a journey filled with suffering and triumph in the quest for authenticity. They made profound marks on the film industry, paving the way for future generations of artists. Dirk Bogarde and Hudson are prime examples of stars who fought against taboo subjects, or even openly faced the AIDS crisis, raising awareness and creating space for acceptance and diversity in Hollywood. The legacy of these stars not only influenced cinema, but also propelled social change, opening up opportunities for artists to live authentically and without fear of judgment. Modern Hollywood, while still facing challenges, has undergone significant transformation thanks to the sacrifices and courage of previous generations. These stories remind us that art is not just a tool for entertainment, but also a powerful means to change people's hearts and minds, creating a more inclusive and compassionate world. We've just explored inspiring stories of stars who helped shape Hollywood and society. Their sacrifices and courage not only opened up opportunities for artists to live authentically, but also promoted acceptance and diversity. So, do any of your friends identify as LGBT? If yes, leave a 1, and if no, comment 0. Feel free to share your story in the comments. Don't forget to enjoy the video and leave a sub to support. Thank you for watching.